Hi, my name is Kunal. I'm Director Product here at Sauce. I'm really excited to be part of the team here. We have done a lot of changes in the past, and you will see as we go through the slide deck on what Sauce has added and what we have been doing in the product world. To start with, the three key things which come to my mind are the change in the velocity. So how software has sort of evolved over years, and we are not only going fast, but we are not going now even going faster. So the velocity is ever increasing. Teams are shipping fast and like faster and faster, even to the point of multiple times a day. That sort of creates an interesting shift in testing. So the testing is not just happening as an afterthought, but it's happening as part of your velocity increase. So you are trying to write more tests throughout your life cycle and making sure you're getting the right signals from those tests. What the mix of velocity and shift is doing is we actually at the end want really high confidence. We want to know whether the software that we are shipping is actually working or not, and our customers are happy with it or not. So it's like the three key things which I'm like seeing a lot of teams just working towards. As you're progressing through your software life cycle, there are multiple things happening. You have the stages where devs are working on static code analysis, unit tests, component tests, sanity checks, and others. From there, things move to staging, where a different persona kicks in, different audience come in. Either they're doing testing using integration tests or API tests or writing performance tests. The idea here is to know whether my app is working well or not. And finally, when it gets deployed into production, you're again running your smoke tests, acceptance tests, or visual tests to know whether the anticipated application or the web app that you worked on actually works as is. What does that do? Like, and again, like folks who have been in the industry for long, they'll sort of resonate to it. It is sort of a sort of a network, a mesh of these different frameworks and tools all across these different stages, and everyone is trying to stitch them all together. Like you're trying to bring in signals from your CI tools, from the different frameworks that your different teams are using, from the different sort of error reporting or logging tools that they're using, and trying to sort of bring them all together. The challenge is that at the end of the day, you want to know whether the software that I'm writing and shipping, does it work or not? Is it helping the customers, my end users or not? And with these multiple signals, it gets a bit hard. So again, like as I was mentioning, like you get multiple views. There are framework dependencies. There are a lot of options, which creates a lot of confusion. The other thing which I want to sort of emphasize here is we all want our teams to be empowered. We want the teams to pick and choose the tools of their choice and then get the maximum benefit out of it. This sort of makes it even harder because on one side, we do want those teams to get empowered, but it definitely creates a lot of mixed signals at the end. How does this all come together? So this is where the way when we look through the lens of sauce, we are seeing that how do we bring all of this, the different tools, the different applications, the different ways of testing together into a single frame to provide you the best digital confidence that you can have. Again, like going through the commit, integrate, and the run phase, we have multiple different applications and multiple different tools that we have added to our stack. And again, the idea here is to improve the visibility, to provide you the confidence that you need at the end of the day to ship the software. Um, as folks have been talking about it previously, like having tools like Test Fairy, providing the insights, giving you all the different basically the different frameworks and the platforms which you need to run your test confidently and to get the right signals at the right time. How does this all stack up? So if folks who have been here with Sauce for a long time, you know the traditional Sauce. It is the virtual desktops and the real device cloud. Again, like we have been running over billions of tests in the Selenium Appium space across like the history of company over 10 years. There's multiple combinations of pre-baked browsers and operating systems that you get from Sauce. You can run your Selenium Appium scripts there. On the real devices side, you get like over 300 to 400 different devices, or 3 to 4,000, sorry, devices, and over 300 combinations of those devices which you can use. So you can see like how rich the ecosystem is from a platform standpoint. What is new, like, and this is where it's exciting. Like since I have joined, last year, and in the previous like 3 to 4 months, we have done a lot of work in terms of what we have added, and all the different tools and capabilities and the products that we have on our stack. Starting from visual, which is really interesting, like providing you a way to take visual snapshots and diffs at a component level and at your testing end-to-end level. New frameworks. So we heard from the market. I know, again, going back to what Marcus was saying, like there are different ways you can run tests. There are different frameworks you can use to run tests. So we have heard from our customers, not only like working towards Selenium Appium, but expanding our story out to add support for Cypress Test Cafe, Playwright, and Puppeteer. To that point, like bringing in the mobile frameworks like XCUI and Expresso into the fold and making it sort of work together under the umbrella of source control. It's a new tool which we have shipped in the past few months, which again gives you a way to orchestrate your tests on the source platform. API testing with the acquisition of API Fortress, it provides you a way to do your API testing and basically mocking, monitoring, load testing. So different ways on how you can actually manage your APIs within the source platform. Low code, no code is really interesting. Like a lot of times, folks are hyper focused on the customers who are outside their organization, but this tool sort of brings the emphasis on actual SaaS products which are used within the organization, such as Workday or Salesforce, and it helps you automate the flows within those tools. It gives you a way to not only ship products confidently to your external users, but to your internal users using like the AI and ML, which comes through the acquisition of Autonomic, which is the low-code product that we acquired. And last but not the least, we have already heard from Yair early in the day about Test Fairy. Again, I'm really, really excited personally about this. It brings us a new different persona altogether. It gives you ways to distribute your app, bug reporting, crash analytics, a lot of rich features and capabilities which people are looking for once they actually use, once they are actually through their development lifecycle and are trying to release the applications. So why am I talking about all these different tools? It's really interesting. Like even from a mobile standpoint, there are different interactions. Like so we are trying from a source perspective, we're trying to solve the software delivery testing lifecycle story, and we feel strongly that these tools sort of you interact with these tools at different stages of your life cycle. So with mobile, just the sheer nature of mobile is it's a hard and a complex problem. Like the applications are remote, you have to deploy an app. Once you deploy, you can't redeploy. Web is sort of easier to tackle. I think mobile is a bit more harder to tackle. Like there's a lot more moving pieces, and the environments are a bit more unknown. So API testing, low code testing, like these are all different sort of tools that we have in our tool set, I would say, which you can use throughout the mobile journey. How do we see Sauce as a platform then? And you look on the top, like the mobile web app, like the different applications and the resources and the product that you are creating, and the different ways in the next layer down, and different ways you're trying to test those applications, be it manual test, be it low code test, be it API or automated tests. From there, like you look at the Sauce ecosystem, which is providing you with the analytics and the insights that you need, the crash reporting, the different platforms of your choice. So like running on emulator simulators or like the pre-baked browsers that we have. And all of this is also like the interesting aspect of it is like sort of connecting it through a secure tunnel. So a lot of times there are security issues or folks don't want to have the code leads on on-prem software, but the way we solve it is like using a secure tunnel connection. So you don't have to ever worry about the security threats. And you can confidently test your software within the Sauce ecosystem. So we are trying to bring these signals together and giving you a single pane of glass where you can look in and see how your software delivery is happening, and we provide you the confidence that you need at the end of the day. Again, like I'm really, really excited. There's a lot has happened in the past few months. And it's just like the whole continuous innovation, the continuous loop which we are doing is bringing, like we are working with our customers, we are hearing you out, we are trying to just get ahead of the curve, like shipping the products and the features and capabilities which customers are asking for. At the end of the day, we want to give you the confidence that you need to ship your software well and to make it easy for you, no matter whether the audience are internal or external, just to make it like easy. You don't have to worry about testing. Like Sauce is here to help.
Kunal and Wim, we had talked earlier about sharing a little bit more hands-on, behind-the-scenes content with our audience today around a specific product and specific solution that we offer, virtual USB. And Kunal, I know we didn't talk about the specifics of that in your presentation, but maybe you can tee us up a little bit and then we can hand off to Wim to show us how it works.
Yeah, for sure. Again, like as I was saying from a product standpoint, like it's been an exciting few months. Like this is one of those capabilities which was asked a lot by customers. Like it gives you access to literally your device which you have by you. So without further ado, like I'll move it on to Wim, like who can actually show you what it does than me talking about it. So Wim, it's on to you.
One of the things that you already mentioned, Kunal, we're also migrating a lot of stuff now from our legacy RDC also to the unified platform. And one of the milestones also for us is to kind of like support you in debugging your applications, your native applications on the Sauce Labs cloud, on real devices. And virtual USB initially was only supported on the legacy RDC and only for Android. And what we've done in the last few months is that we work very hard, let's say it like that. We work very hard to also finish this up for a unified platform, as we call it, the Sauce Labs UI, but also to support iOS, so that you're now able as an iOS developer or even as a tester, if you're able to debug some code, that you can connect your local machine to a Sauce Labs device, use Xcode, and also try to debug your application. And I just want to show you how to do that. And if there are questions, then please put them in the chat. I will be focusing on the demo, and maybe then Kunal can ask the questions to me. But basically what you can do with virtual USB, like I mentioned, normally when you need to debug your application, you might use Android Studio or you might use Xcode. You connect a cable to a local device, connect that one to your laptop, and you will start debugging. But now with virtual USB, you have the option to do that with every private device that you have allocated to your account. And you might wonder, private device, what is it? Well, basically a private device is a device allocated to you, only you as a customer. We have a lot of devices, like Kunal already mentioned, we've got thousands of models already in our cloud. That's the public cloud, available for everybody. But on private devices, those are the devices specifically allocated for you as a customer. And the advantage of that is that you have access to almost everything on the device. And take, for example, for Android, you even have access to the file system. So we needed to make it a little bit more secure. That's why you can only use private devices. But let me just start by first sharing a link if you want to know more about virtual USB and how you can use it. That's this specific links on our new documentation page. We're adding new features also in this documentation page. And in the end, it will replace the wiki that we have. But in this page, you will find more information on how to use virtual USB. I'm going to demo it to you, so we're not going to read every paragraph here. Don't worry, we're going to look into some code, some demo code. What you normally need to do is you need to log into Sauce Labs. And let's just make it easy. Let's go to the live part here on our screen and click on cross browser. And let me make my menu a little bit smaller and then go to the mobile wheel. And here you would see all the devices that are allocated to your account, which could be public devices. And just an example, the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 12 here, those are public devices, but devices with a specific label, as you can see here, are private devices. These devices are only for me. My colleagues cannot access these devices. I can only access them, which means I can also use them with virtual USB. And with virtual USB, you have two options. You can start a session, a new clean session, just from the command line and start that connection with the device, or you can already connect to an existing device that you already have open. Now, let me just start by with the most easy situation. I'm going to launch a device. It doesn't matter if I installed my app or if I'm going to open the browser. But I can connect Xcode to this device in the cloud. I'm just going to wait here, but what I need to do is I need to use virtual USB. And there are two options. There's a runner, a Java runner, which you can use, but we also released a open source GUI that is basically packaged around that runner, which can help you even make an easier connection to that device. And you can find more information on that, and we will also share that link afterwards in the Sauce Labs repository. It's on saucelabs-usb-app. You can download the application there. There's more information on how to use that application. I already downloaded it, so let me just start by starting that application, the virtual USB GUI. And that GUI will help me connect to this specific device just in a few clicks. The only thing that I need to do as a user of this GUI is I need to log in with my credentials that I use when I'm using Sauce Labs, when I normally want to use Sauce Labs. If you're using SSO, well, this application cannot connect to SSO. It's open source. We didn't want to make it too complex for everybody, but there is a workaround. Click on the SSO tab and there's an instruction what you need to do if you're using SSO. But let me just log in here, and 9 or 10 times when I'm typing during a demo, I always mistype my password. So this might take 5 minutes. Just make sure that I'm doing it correctly. Demo gods, yes, thanks. What you're seeing here is basically the beginning of the application. It will first check if you have all the things needed on your local machine. If you want to debug Android, you need to have Android set in your path. You need to have ADB installed. Or if you're using XCode, if you want to debug iOS applications, make sure that you're on a Mac and that you have XCode installed on your machine. Then you are able to debug also the iOS applications. Then we've got the settings here. I won't open the settings here because then you would see my passcode, my access key. But basically in the settings, you can find all the specific settings for virtual USB. Because, for example, if we connect to a device, and especially Android, we also need to use an ADB command to make that device connection with my local machine. That can be done automatically with this application. So it can automatically create that ADB connection for you. You can download the logs into files, and you can do a lot of things. You can set that in the settings. To start it, we first need to push the play button. And the play button will start the server. You can now already see that the server icon went from gray to green. If I would now open it, I would have the server logs here. And this server log will just behave like a terminal. If I would just clean my terminal, the logs are gone. But yeah, if I do something more also with virtual USB, more logs will be shown here. Click the cross and I just click on device catalog. And here I can see all my private devices. They were first grayed out, and in a few seconds they will be active. And that means it will first check if it can connect to those devices, yes or no. And you can now already see that the iPhone XS, the one that I started a few minutes ago, can also be used and connected to through this UI by just clicking this connect button. And I will now get asked a question because we need to copy basically a driver that we use into a repository or into a folder. So I again need to enter my password. And yes, the demo gods also helped me with this. Also in my logs, I could see everything that was happening also with the connection, with the driver being copied. If I just close it, there's now a connection with that device. It's now using virtual USB. And what I can now do is I can start XCode. Let me just start a simple project and connect XCode to that device in the cloud. Build my application, push it to the device, and also do some profiling on my application. There's a lot of things happening now on my machine, so loading XCode will take a few seconds. That's always happening during the demo. So my system is using a lot of memory now, due to Zoom, I think. Are you running Xcode, please? Well, the demo gods helped me with my password, but they did not help me with starting Xcode. Let's kill the process of Xcode and start it over again. XCode, where are you there? And just force quit it and start it again. And just see what will happen now. File here, open, there it should be. Yes, let me open this project. Let's go to source, to Git, and to the source widget. I think I have it here somewhere. Source labs widget, and it should be here. And Xcode is opening on my other screen. Here it is. It's in small letters, sorry for that, but basically what we can now already see is that the application, or that the phone, is now already connected as a external device connected to my machines. Basically what we could do now is, for example, profile our application, see what's happening with the CPU when I'm interacting with my application. But Virtual USB can help you basically debug all your applications with Android Studio, with Xcode, giving you as a developer, or giving you as a QA engineer that has access to the code, the option to do whatever you want to do with that device in the cloud, in the same way that you would normally do that when you would just connect that device to your machine at home or at the office.
There was a question that was submitted in advance by one of our attendees today, and I thought it might be a nice way to sort of send some people off. Let's not call it homework, because that doesn't sound so good, but some inspiration maybe. We got a question in from Robert asking if there are any resources, books, websites, lectures that you would recommend when customers are asking for mobile testing guidance. Where do you turn for information? Where do you encourage others to go when they're looking for guidance and information on some of what we just talked about today?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. Let me start sharing my screen. I think if you want to know more also about testing, there's a lot you can find out there on the internet. But I think one of the things that I used a lot and have seen really good, how do you say it, great value. I don't know if you know Ministry of Testing. I think that's one of the organizations out there that really helps people try to understand testing. And it's not only about automated testing. Automated testing is cool, at least mobile dude, automation dude. I really like it, but it also gives you the understanding about the basics from testing. And I would always advise you to look into the basics. Why do we do testing? It doesn't matter if you do automated or manual testing. It's good to understand what you need to test, why you need to test it. And Ministry of Testing has a lot of workshops. They have a lot of documentation, information for you to help you start with testing on whatever level you are already on. So I would definitely go to ministryoftesting.com. Also support them by downloading or basically buying a subscription, and then you will get even extra content available for you. So yeah, that's the way I would go.
I'll basically say, like, again, I'll put the disclaimer. I used to work at ThoughtWorks, but like that's another resource which I have used in the past, coming from a consulting company. The interesting thing there is, like, it's a pool where you have all these consultants who are going out and talking to different clients, different aspects, different verticals, and it just like distilling that information into, and they publish like quarterly reports. And like there's a lot of great resources on their website, particularly if you search for Martin Fowler and his blog. Like there's a lot of resources around testing, how to do good practices in testing, and how to approach testing in general, about mocking, stubbing. So all the way, I would say, cross from a developer aspect to a QA, and how does that vertical sort of fit in. So again, a great resource to read, a great resource to get started on testing, to understand like what works, what doesn't work, what are the best practices around it. I have generally like gone in and look at them. Google, I would say, is another. Google is on a very different boat in terms of testing. Like they do publish, Google Engineering has a testing blog post. Again, like very from the lens of ops and a scalability. So like I know a lot of folks are not there, but like the issues they run into are quite fascinating, to be honest, like what happens at scale when you test. So that's another resource which is really interesting, but I would say like it's very engineering heavy, like it's coming from the lens of ops and engineering.
If you want to start with testing, is basically try to think as a user. Don't overcomplicate everything. Just first of all, how would you use your application? I think that's basically the best thing that you could do, because it would also give you kind of like some weight on what you should automate maybe and what you should not automate. What's the real business value out of it? And by thinking as a user how you would walk through that application would definitely help you making the right decisions, making good decisions for your testing.
We are just about at time. I know it's been a long and content-full conversation over the past almost 3 hours here. Thank you, Wim, for staying up late over in the Netherlands there. Appreciate you being with us until the end. And just an opportunity, Wim or Kunal, any last thoughts that you'd like to share before we wrap up for today?
Yeah, the thing that I wanted to share is that if you never work with SaaS Labs, just start a free trial. Like I mentioned in my presentation, other people use it to play Fortnite. Don't do that on SaaS Labs because your account will be blocked. But just start a free account and just see what all the awesome things that we could do for you. So yeah.
Yeah, I second that. Like it's easy to start, get going, try it out. Like I think testing is it's just essential, I feel like, and there's nothing like what just trying out the platform and see where we can help fit your needs. So, and again, as I was saying before, feel free to reach out if things don't work. Like we're here to hear from you, like what's working, what's not working, and sort of accommodate that into our product roadmaps.